Fourth episode begins with Lan engaging Rand in sword training in the Threefold Land. Moiraine observes from afar. Egwene tells Moiraine about a popular saying in the Two Rivers, "A watched pot never boils." Later, Moiraine and Egwene sit with the Wise Ones, Bear and Melaine. Moiraine asks the Wise Ones how they knew our heroes were coming. Bear admits it's easier for them to see what's already happening or beginning to happen than what will occur. Melaine adds they didn't see Egwene, though. Bear reveals that since Rand is here, if he survives Ruidian, some of the Ale will also live. "If you had not come, you would have died," Melaine tells Moiraine. Melaine also begins to say that if Moiraine doesn't go through Ruidian, she will die, but she stops herself. Moiraine isn't supposed to know this. Outside, but still in the camp, Aviendha scolds Rand for handling a sword, especially this close to Ruidian. Rand reminds her that Aiel don't touch swords. So, is he Aiel or not? Aviendha knocks down Rand, her spear hovering near his throat. Then, she sets her sights on Lan. Her warning includes him. What transpires next is a fun fight sequence of Aviendha versus Lan, culminating with Lan snagging one of her spears. However, Bear puts a stop to the friendly fire. She and Melaine remind Aviendha that she's destined to be a wise one, not a maiden of the spear. Bear admits she, too, resisted her fate initially, but she came around to it. Bear takes Aviendha's spears and breaks them. Then Aviendha strips off her warrior look. She asks for permission to enter Ruidian, which Bear and Melaine grant. Aviendha leaves. After this, Moiraine asks Rand if he plans to venture into Ruidian. The conversation pivots to Moraine's intentions. Rand doesn't trust her and believes she's only in this for herself. Morraine insists she's dedicated her life to protecting him. She won't sit idly by while he puts his head on the chopping block. The following day, Rand asks Ruark if he's entered Ruidian. All clan chiefs and wise ones must pass the test. He shows Rand his sick dragon tattoo. While clan chiefs who emerge from the city in the clouds get one tattoo, the Kara Karn will boast two. Our crew arrives on the edge of Ruidian before they encounter the Shido. Savannah, a wise one, interacts with Bear and Ruark. Then, both clans gather under a tent to discuss why they're near Ruidian. Savannah reveals she married her late husband's son, who is now in Ruidian. Couladin declares that if his brother fails, he'll go in next. Bear reminds Couladin that he must ask the question first, though. Rand steps forward, asking Bear and Melaine for permission to enter Ruidian. They grant it much to Couladin's anger, who only sees Rand as a wetlander. Couladin lunges at Rand, but Ruark and Bear stop him. Moiraine also asks to venture into Ruidian and receives approval. Egwene tries to accompany Rand, but the Wise Ones remind her that her path differs from our Dragon Reborn. Bear and Melaine prepare our duo for their trial. Moiraine will enter 3 rings, which will show her thousands of different futures. Rand, on the other hand, will move through the glass columns, walking in the footsteps of his ancestors. Each step forward is a step back in time. Outside the city, the Wise Ones ask Rand and Moiraine to remove their weapons. Once in the city proper, Moiraine notes the towering statues don't seem to be of Ale origin. She also observes the dry fog, remarking that she can occasionally see threads of the one power before they vanish. After this, Rand and Moiraine encounter the Tree of Life, or Avendasora. It's believed to be almost 3,000 years old. Moiraine explains that the Aiel entrusted a sapling to Cairhien hundreds of years ago. Unfortunately, her uncle Laman cut down the tree to construct his throne. This led to the Aiel War. The Aiel came over the spine to kill Laman for breaking his oath to protect the Avendasora. They finally tracked him down on the slopes of Dragonmount, where Rand's mother gave birth. Rand realizes he and Moiraine have been connected since before he was born. He admits she shouldn't have tagged along with him into Ruidian. Then, our pair go their separate ways. Moiraine ventures off in search of the rings, while Rand commences his journey through the glass columns. There he spies Muradin, Savannah's husband. He's not doing so hot. As Rand moves through the glass columns, a gust of wind nearly knocks him over. Then, Rand's hurtled back in time. We see his Aiel father, Janduin, on Dragonmount during the Aiel War. He gets stabby-stabby with his spear as he takes out his enemies. Unfortunately, he discovers Rand's mother is dead. He tells the Shade of his heart that he killed Lamon before he learns from another warrior that baby Rand is missing. Uh-oh. Then, Rand forges ahead in the glass columns. This time, he ventures further into the past. We see his ancestor, a clan chief, preparing to enter Ruidian. Once inside, he and the other clan chiefs meet an older Aes Sedai, Latra, who pulls what looks like a glowing orb, the Sakarnan, from the Avan Dosora. She explains that the last true Ael are all dead now, the people who built this city and planted this tree. She adds that there's too much these men don't know. Basically, it's time to peruse what Ancestry.com has to offer and learn about their ancestors. Whoever cannot learn will not live. Latra also reveals that the one who will lead the Ael will come later, of the blood, but not raised of the blood. Then Latra uses the Sakarnan to create the glass columns. She urges the clan chiefs to walk in the footsteps of their ancestors and learn why the Aes Sedai call the Ael Oathbreakers. After this, Rand takes another step forward, hurling himself further into the past. We see a young man who looks an awful lot like Rand, Luwin. Luwin and his friends, Alia and Charlin, marvel at the Avan Dosora sapling. We learn that Luwin and the Ael are there to build a city in the desert. Luwin's mother tells him that a group of bandits kidnapped his and Alicia's sisters. Older Aedan refuses to let the boys save the girls. Luwin won't accept that, though. He and his friends break into the bandits' camp that night to retrieve the girls. Unfortunately, Luwin and his pals resort to violence, killing the bandits. Charlin takes a blade to the stomach and dies. As these Aiel follow the way of the leaf, murder is a huge no-no. Luwin and Aliha return the following morning, carrying Charlin's body, with their sisters in tow. Luwin's mother and older Adan know what this means. Luwin and Aliha are no longer Aiel. Luwin's mother tearfully claims she doesn't recognize him, ordering him to turn away from her. Aliha wonders what they'll do now. Luwin claims they'll protect their clan. They'll do what their loved ones cannot do. Meanwhile in Ruidian, Moiraine senses a powerful presence. She stands before the Avan Dosora and channels, which removes the vines concealing the Sakarnan. She pockets it. Next, Moiraine stumbles upon the three rings. She spies Avienda, who's levitating and slowly spinning in the air inside one of the rings. Avienda is screaming. It doesn't look like fun. Morraine steps inside the ring opposite her and is thrust into the air, slowly spinning as countless futures unfold before her at breakneck speed. In one future, Morraine sits on the floor of Siuan's childhood fishing hut. In another future, Morraine, now the Amerlin seat, looms above Rand in the hall of the White Tower. Morraine kills him. Then in another, Morraine releases Lan from their bond. In yet another, Morraine and Rand bond together as the latter becomes her warder. Lan is on fire, and Morraine puts it out. Morraine, as the Amerlin seat, cradles Rand in her arms in the ale waste as he dies. In another future, Morraine, still the Amerlin seat, kills Rand in the waste with Lan by her side. Next, in a different future, Moiraine swears herself to the Dragon Reborn in what looks like Emond's Field. Meanwhile, in the glass columns, Muradin screams in agony as Rand moves past him. Further into the past, Janduin searches for his grandson Aedan among the mayhem and burning wreckage from an attack by bandits. Janduin is the clan chief. Sulwyn claims they can't continue like this. Janduin addresses her in the old tongue, claiming they bury their dead and move on. When Aedan is older, he says this to Luwin. Janduin reassures Sulwyn that the others will come. They'll meet them across the spine. His daughter dreamt it. Sulwyn declares the rest of the clan is going south. Aedan refuses to leave his grandfather's side. After the others depart, Aedan helps Janduin bury the dead. Janduin reveals that Aedan's mother dreamed of a city in the desert, a haven for the Ael. We see the sapling in Janduin's wagon, which Aedan will oversee when he's older. Aedan asks how they'll get across the spine. Janduin begins pulling the wagon. Together, he responds. As Rand moves through the glass columns, we see another of his ancestors, this time from before the breaking of the world. Rand's ancestor meets a young Latra and Celinda. He informs Latra in the old tongue that every wagon has a tree, cuttings from the Korra, and a pot. These are for the Aiel. Before he leaves, Latra gives Rand's ancestor the Sakarnan. Celinda protests this, reminding Latra that it's too precious. Latra explains to the man what the Sakarnan is and its male component, Kalendor. He vows to care for what she's given into their charge until the Aes Sedai want it again. Latra encourages him and his people to continue moving until they find a place of safety and peace. Then, Latra addresses the other Aiel behind Rand's ancestor, urging them to keep these oaths and uphold the way of the leaf. After this, he places the Sakarnan in a sapling inside his wagon. His partner, Comran, asks if he's afraid. All will be well, Rand's ancestor chants, almost more so to soothe his nerves, and all manner of things will be well. If you recall, we heard older Aiden say this to Luwin's mother in the other flashback. Now it gets increasingly more difficult for Rand to trudge through the glass columns. Muradin screams behind him, blood pouring from his eyes. Another step sends Rand into the past. This time he's an Ael man watching Ael servants work in the field as they sing in the old tongue. He's in a massive globe that hangs in the sky. Mirren Sedai, aka Lanfear, remarks that it's a beautiful song. Rand's ancestor reveals his family is from here. They still farm these fields. Mirren encourages him to visit them. He insists he can do it tomorrow. Today is too important to Mirren. We learn Mirren discovered the thinnest part of the pattern. She hopes to find what's on the other side. Mirren adds that true power awaits them, which can be wielded by men or women. Anyone, anywhere, can have access to this power. After their chat, Rand's ancestor joins the other servants in the field. Suddenly, a crackle whips through the air as a hole appears in the floating globe. It malfunctions and crashes to the ground, sending the Ael servants scrambling for safety. Rand's ancestor stays to watch, in shock. Cracks form in the sky above. Is this Mirren tearing open the Dark One's prison? Later, Rand relives all these lives, sees his ancestors as they were, before collapsing outside the glass columns. He made it. The dragon tattoos materialize on both his forearms. Once he wakes up, he finds Aviendha unconscious on the ground. After she stirs, she instantly clocks his new ink. He's officially the Karakarn. He asks about Moiraine. Aviendha responds that she's still inside the rings. Aviendha returns to the tents, but Rand refuses to leave without Moiraine. Meanwhile, Morraine continues to see various unsettling futures. In one, Lanfear, with our other heroes as Forsaken, corner Morraine in the ways. Lanfear slits her throat. Then in another, Morraine and Rand get it on in bed. After this, Morraine and Lanfear are intimate until the latter chokes her. In yet another future, Lanfear kills Moiraine in the White Tower. Then, Lanfear slices Moraine's throat in the streets of Tarvalon. Lanfear also kills Morraine in myriad ways in the Ael Waste. Elsewhere, Lan and Egwene wait outside for Moiraine and Rand to return from Ruidian. We learn they've been gone for a week, but Aviendha returned 2 days prior. Egwene proposes they go in after them, but Lan reminds her that Rand and Moiraine wanted them to stay. Finally, Rand carries an unconscious Moiraine from their sojourn in the city in the clouds. They both desperately need moisturizer. Lan takes Moiraine into his arms after she regains consciousness. Rand and Egwene embrace.